Of course, it's an episode of Christmas Daze with Kyla Kenisha, where we're doing all of your favorite Christmas tradition and things. And this episode, I think, is going to be very special. As you can see, who is right next to me. If you don't know him, you need to know him, okay? But today we will be doing Coquito, and right next to me I have Rico. So we have Coquito by Rico. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about his business. And if you don't want to follow this very simple recipe to do your Coquito, you can just call him up and get a bottle. But we're gonna get into all of that during this episode. But we're going to just go through the quick ingredients. So we have Coco Lopez, which is your cream of coconut. We have condensed milk, coconut milk, and evaporated milk. Then we have the cinnamon. We have the one in the little jar, or you can have your cinnamon sticks if you're feeling really spicy. And then of course, the rum. Okay, the rum. So of course you need some utensils as well. So we have a spoon, an opener, a small grater, a whisk, and a wooden spoon. And this pot is where the magic is about to happen. Okay? Okay. So Kenrico, help a girl out.
Yeah, so typically I like to start with the cream of coconut.
Okay.
You know, make sure you give the can a really good shake.
Okay.
All right, I think that's good.
Okay. Great.
All right. And make sure you keep the can.
Okay.
Because this can is actually going to be your measurement for the rum.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, we got that all out. I'll just take out the whisk, and then you can do the condensed milk as well.
Okay, so you have to.
While you're opening that, I'm going to try to get some of these lumps out.
Okay. I did not shake it good enough, so that's why it's important to shake it, guys.
Coquito has to be very, very creamy. You don't want any lumps. You just want creamy goodness. So you see? The lumps are pretty much.
Condensed milk out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No,
Trying to get that out. Still has more.
So I like to mix them as I add them.
Okay.
And not wait till the end, you know?
Makes sense.
So just, because the condensed milk sometimes will stay to the bottom, so you just want to make sure you get it all.
Okay.
So now we can add in coconut milk. Give that a shake as well.
Milk.
And you can use honestly any brand that you want.
Okay, what's your favorite brand?
Well,
If you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one, I'll probably say, I think the Goya one is probably the pretty good one. But when I make, I typically tend to mix the coconut milks.
Okay. So we already went through Coco Lopez, condensed milk, and the coconut milk. We're just whisking it together in the pot.
I think we're done with the whisk now. I use a whisk for like the thicker ingredients, and once it gets a little bit more liquidy, I go into the spoon.
Okay.
And you have to move it. That's what we say. I can move it. You have to move it a lot, and you have to move it a lot. Make sure you get it all together.
And I've heard you basically use a Spanish term.
Oh yes.
So we're gonna get into
yes,
that
yes.
because we love Coquito here in the BBI, but it's actually originated in Spanish countries.
Puerto Rico.
Specifically, Puerto Rico. So you have to keep moving it. Okay, while you do that, I will open the evaporated milk.
It's interesting because the Dominican Republic has their own version, you know. They call it ponche de coco.
Ponche de coco. And what does
Coconut
it?
punch, basically, right?
I'm just gonna ask.
Yeah, they make their cremas. And they're all basically, at least in my opinion, variations of the same thing, you know? But when you make your Coquito, you can use whatever rum you want. But typically, it's like a white Puerto Rican rum.
Okay.
Donoku, Bacardi, but today we have Crujan. I like the Crujan.
We have Crujan straight up of St. Croix.
We've already put in the cream of coconut, we have in our condensed milk,
Great.
or evaporated milk and a coconut milk.
Right.
And you want to make sure that you mix all of these ingredients really, really well together to a nice smooth consistency. Some people use a blender to help, but I think this is fine, just using this method. But what I was going to say is that at this point is when you start to add the spices.
Okay. Do this.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if everybody knows, when you're using your fresh nutmeg, you know, make sure it's outside
the nut.
Put it in
So
there.
this is a nutmeg inside the nut, guys, and this is outside the nut. So you have to crack it. You have to crack it, and then it looks like that.
You definitely put less nutmeg than you do cinnamon. I put less nutmeg than I do cinnamon.
I could see why.
Yeah, and I think we might be reaching that.
Are we there yet?
place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nutmeg is very pungent. Is that the word? It's like
Okay.
strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There.
It's very strong.
Okay.
You can't go wrong with cinnamon though. I really love cinnamon.
Yeah. So everything, all the spices is just for your own liking. So as a base, I would say probably a teaspoon of cinnamon, but I definitely put in a lot more than a teaspoon. I give it a couple good, shakes in there. Probably 2 more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright,
Good.
yeah.
2 more and a little bit more. Right? So yeah. And most importantly, vainilla, vanilla. We need a vanilla essence.
Listen, I don't know what vanilla essence really does, but I love the smell of it. And
When you're putting your vanilla, a little bit less than, this is just, I guess, how do you call it? Like this is just one serving or one kind of recipe. This would probably make 2 bottles of it. So for this, you're only gonna put a little bit less than a capful.
Okay, so
If you put too much vanilla, it's gonna make it bitter.
Okay.
Vanilla has a bitter
So
kind
that's
of thing.
good?
Yeah, it's probably even a little bit too much, but
Okay,
you can,
so let's put it a little less.
yeah, just drop it in there. So at this point, if you'd like, you would just give it a little taste, make sure
To your liking.
it's what you want. Some people like to add other spices like clove and star anise and other things, but I like to just really stick with the cinnamon and the nutmeg.
And you were telling me about different methods of making coquito. Like this is a very simple.
Oh yeah, this is the most simple way to make it. And this way also gives it the longest shelf life because we're not using eggs.
Okay.
So you can make it the same way. It would be literally everything here. You would add an egg yolk to it. There's another method where people make what they call a té or a tea in the bottom of the pot. So you add a little bit of water, you put it on, you put in your clove, you put in your cinnamon, you put in your nutmeg, you put in a bay leaf, you
So
put in your star
spices that
anise,
you would
all
like.
the spices. And you kind of steep them a little bit. And then you'll take that liquid, it'll be brown obviously because it's getting all that flavor
Right,
and everything.
spices.
And spices, and then you would add it inside of it.
Okay.
Also, I mean, people do the flavors. I'm pretty sure you've heard people, selling and making pistachio and chocolate and all these other things. And it's pretty much, the same thing.
Okay.
You just add a couple of scoops of your favorite ice cream, blend it all up together, and then you have it. It's not rocket science.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Coquito by Rico,
Okay.
which is your Coquito business. So
Yes.
where did it all started? Where did you learn to make Coquito, and why did you decide to make it into a business?
Well, about the business thing, I'm still working on, getting it to the official kind of stage. But growing up, as a person of, bicultural, background, I just always go around Coquito. I've been drinking it. And I hung out with my cousin Milagros out there in Gurabo, Puerto Rico. And she makes it and she sells it. And I was just, curious. I wanted to make it myself. It tastes so good. And she, she showed me how to make it. And it was just really so simple. And I just added my own different things to it,
Twist.
Yeah, you're not going to see all the little
Of course not.
additions here, but
If you want those additions, you need to hit him up. We will be definitely putting his contact in our information or bio, whatever. And you can hit him up for your own personal bottle of Coquito. coquito.
Yes, and I'm not selfish. If you forget what we're doing, I can show you. If you want to go through the job of making it yourself, you know, that's fine too.
Love it. Okay, so
Alright.
the cinnamon, is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to get a little taste to see how it's doing.
We're gonna taste it a little bit.
Get a little taste.
And
Yes, yes. It's probably very sweet. Very sweet, right?
ooh, that tastes good.
It tastes good. Okay.
It really does.
Okay. So la medida, the measurement for the alcohol goes in this can. So it's 15 ounces. This is a 15 ounce can of Coco Lopez. So it basically gonna use 15 ounces of the rum. It doesn't have to necessarily be white rum, but just traditionally that they use
It's
white
normally
rum. They
that.
use Don Q, they use Bacardi.
So this one is not. Yeah, this is the main ingredients, guys. Probably isn't, but.
Yeah, we don't need a whisk anymore, I don't think. That's pretty much. Just mix it. You might find that it might be a little bit difficult, it might splash slightly to you. You
And
get
just
smoothly. It makes it a little bit better to go around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So splash it too much. Okay, so that's mixed properly now.
Yes, it's mixed.
Okay, so some of the cinnamon is still on the top, but that's okay.
That's fine, that's fine.
Yeah.
It settles, it's gonna be perfectly fine.
Okay, so now guys, we are going to get the glasses firstly, and then we're gonna wild the rest of it out. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about Coquito and what that means for Christmas and BVI and the region around us, Puerto Rico, all of that. So you don't want to miss that. So we'll be right back. Now we have the cups, so it's time to drink. But before we do that, we're gonna
Let's
put
bottle
it in
it.
the bottle lid. Yeah.
Give it another little stir, right?
Okay, so
Because,
stir it just a little bit.
yeah.
So
Alright,
you're going to.
I'm gonna pour.
You're gonna pour it, this.
Clumsy Kenrico's gonna pour.
I'll hold the bottle.
Okay, there we go. Let me get on my little tippy toes a little bit. Ay, Dios, ay, Dios.
Okay.
Let's go.
Go ahead.
I don't know why this is. Jeez. It's normally not this messy. Honestly,
A little
it's
bit more, because you can't hold it anymore. Okay.
not. Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Alright, guys, this is how you bottle it out. Put your
You could have
funnel.
had a little bit more. You know, you cover it. You made a little mess on the bottle. You rinse it off.
Rinse it off.
Right?
That's good.
I think we should clean up.
Yeah. So we're gonna clean up. We're back. The Coquito already bottled out, and now we have an amazing bowl because this is just to show that it's a simple thing.
It's so simple.
These, you can make this and you can give it to your family member or a friend for a quick and just thoughtful gift, because who doesn't love Coquito at the end of the day? So you can make it, or you can call Rico to make you a bottle and package it just like this and give it to someone.
Really chill, and I love to have mine on
It's
ice.
so creamy.
Yes. I love to make 2 of these size bottles, which is 750 milliliters. You might have a little bit more to spare.
Let's taste that. Or we should have it chilled. Alright. Okay, so we tasted it.
It's good.
It's really good. It's really creamy. And I think the rum is not overpowering at all. So I really like this.
Yeah, although most of my friends, it's like, oh, I ain't got no from it, But depending on your liking,
Exactly.
you just add more.
But I think this creeps up on you really fast.
It will.
Like,
It will.
okay. But I just want to know a little bit about the history of Coquito. I don't think it would be fair to do this video and to do this production without really diving into the history of Coquito. So tell me a little bit about it.
Well, what I know about it is obviously it's like essentially the Puerto Rican version of eggnog, right? Which is a holiday drink that people enjoy all over the world.
Right.
But I guess because of being in the Caribbean and having coconut trees and coconuts, however it goes, that we just made our own kind of version. So Coquito isn't something that you get all year round, right?
Exactly.
It's not an all year round thing. It's not even a before Thanksgiving thing. Like literally the week of Thanksgiving is when you start to get the first batch.
Yeah,
of
I
Coquito,
agree.
right? And yeah, I mean, you drink it. It's not something that you're gonna sit down and binge drink. Obviously not.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, no, okay. It does taste really good, but like literally, you know, after your food, you're hanging out with your friends.
If
you have company, you give them a nice holiday kind of treat, kind of thing, you know. But the longer it stays in the fridge, the better it tastes. It has to cure. They would say, "El coquito ya está curado." The Puerto Rico, the coquito now is cured, and this is weeks after. So the CDC might say, don't drink that for 4 days. But the Puerto Rican grandparents, they're gonna say after 3 months, after a couple of weeks, it's still good and it's even better.
Wow. So imagine in September you're making coquito for December. But honestly, coquito is something I like because like my family from St. Thomas, I'm not sure where they got that tradition from, but every Boxing Day when they would come up for family reunions, they would bring bottles of coquito, and it's definitely something that I look forward to. So now that I have the recipe and I can do it in my own house, listen, this is just all that is missing. So if you enjoy coquito, if it's something that you've heard about, I would definitely say to try it. It's amazing. But before we go, I want you to plug Coquito by Rico. I really love saying that. It's catchy. But I want you to plug your business. If persons do not want to try this at home, don't have the time, or just don't want to be bothered with the cleanup, how do they contact you?
You can contact me really. I'm on Facebook. I have a personal number, but I'm not sure if I'll put it out there. But really, just find me on Facebook, Kenrico Wheatley. Shoot me a message. Like I said, I'm still in the process of legitimizing every aspect of what I'm doing. But for now, I have no issue sharing the recipe or supplying you with the bottle if you're interested.
Awesome.
All right?
Awesome. And if you can't find Kenrico, you can just order through us because this is highly recommended by Kyla Kenisha, myself. It is amazing. It's definitely something you want during this holiday season. So I do want to thank you, Kenrico, for joining me on Christmas Days. And yeah, viewers, we have so much more for you. So keep tuned in.